Hello, fanboys and girls, and welcome to the Fanboy Fight Club podcast, brought to you by Media Junkies. Every Tuesday, we grace your ears with an either new or classic episode for your listening enjoyment. You can find all of our previous episodes in our archives. Just search and subscribe to our channel on your favorite podcast app. Now, Fanboy Fight Club is our flagship podcast, but if you love the sounds of our voices, you can search Media Junkie and find a whole lot more. Just search on Apple, Google, Stitcher, CastBox, just to name a few. You'll find podcasts such as the Rogue Agents Division 2 podcast, the Gimmick Minute Wrestling podcast, Why Are You a Gamer, and possibly some more to come. So please subscribe to them all. If you're using Apple Podcasts and you feel like we've earned it, please leave us a 5-star review. It definitely helps. And if you don't, we just assume that we're doing awesome. We also appreciate anybody who wants to join the conversation. You can interact with us on our Twitter and Instagram at Media Junkie Vids. And if you want to just interact with this podcast specifically, hit us up at FBFC Podcast. My name is Jason. I have the pleasure of hosting the show. It's time to introduce you to the fanboys, and then we'll enter the ring for the main event, and that's where the Fight Club part comes in. So let's get it kick-started. First, we do have a full cast of characters this week. We got the man who co-started Media Junkie, and he's growing a nice quarantine beard. He's the one and only Wes. What's going on?
Hey, it's going great, but I had to shave the beard because I had an interview, so.
Oh, you bastard. Grow it back. All right. Then we also have
Did you
the
just say
host.
broke back? No.
Oh, man.
I can't quit you.
Quarantine.
Dear God. All right. Then we also have the host of the Rogue Agents and Why Are You a Gamer podcast. You can catch him streaming on his gaming channel. You can find him at Jamar Games. We got Jamar. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? I'm delighted to be here today.
I'm glad you're here. Happy to have you. All right. And we also have our Fanboy Fight Club social media expert and possibly the next host of an upcoming podcast. We got Jake. What's up, man?
What's up?
How you doing?
You know,
All right.
Just-
Good.
quarantining myself.
You guys are really bringing the fucking energy tonight. I love it. Last but not least, one of the co-hosts of the wrestling podcast, which we just finished up our WrestleMania recap episode, and also the guy who designs all the pretty little graphics on our channels. And you can also buy his shirts on tpublic.com. His name is Michael.
Oh, man. I just rewrote an entire sequel to Brokeback Mountain where Wes and Jamar are in the backyard and they're looking at the stars.
Hey, Jamar,
What's up?
I can't quit you.
I've never seen the movie, but just put it in.
Oh, man.
I'm assuming that's what happened. I don't know.
Well, we know who the top and who the bottom is, folks.
Oh, my God. All right.
How's
So
that for energy?
before we get everything started, we like to talk a little bit about what we as like anything we've seen, watched. I know we're kind of all in quarantine here. Anybody seen or watched anything or played anything that stood out to them at all?
I watched WrestleMania and it was better than expected.
It was way better than expected. I'll agree with you there. I also almost finished Resident Evil 3 in one day today.
Yeah,
So,
man. I heard it was like 7 hours. I mean, I don't know in context if that's long or short for Resident Evil. Or...
No, I mean it's
I didn't even
about-
realize it released.
Yeah, it released the other day, and I picked up, started playing it. And
Well, Resident Evil 6 was like 21.5 hour long campaign, and a lot of people complained about it, so that makes sense.
That's because
Yeah,
it was
it was
three
shit.
fucking campaigns
yeah, it was terrible.
that all led to the same end.
You just played as different characters, and they all
Yeah.
got you to the same place. So yeah, I can see that. But
I watched the first 3 Rambos for the first time.
oh yeah, how'd you like those?
Eh.
Yeah, just huh?
Well,
Great
the
review.
first one was good. The second one was good as well. The third one was
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Fourth and fifth are better.
So it's like most Stallone movie series where as it goes on, it gets worse.
Oh
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. All right, anything else? Anybody else have anything they want to bring up at all, or no? Jake's being very quiet.
Jake's still finishing his topic that he changed 2 minutes ago.
Jake may be dead because of Carol fucking Baskins.
That bitch Carol Baskin.
That bitch Carol Baskins.
She's gonna come for you now, Wes, that you bought a fucking tiger.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, can we get some more context on that?
Tigers are insanely cheap, and you would have never guessed you can buy a tiger for like $2,000, $3,000.
Oh my
I
god.
guess that makes
Hashtag COVID stimulus check.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh my god. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on then. So, moving on, we're going to jump right into the main event. And basically, if you're new to the show, the main event is kind of where we do battle. So, 2 of us are going to judge, and then the other 3 are going to compete. And for this week's main event, the fanboys are going to rewrite a little history. They're going to remake a shitty sequel. So, basically, you had the movie come out. The sequel fucking sucked. So, they're going to remake that and see if they can come up with something better than what actually came out in real life. So, of course, Shamar did not get a chance to choose because he is the bitch of the week. Way to fucking go, Shamar. Here's how the main event worked. What?
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
No, you were on a roll, man. I was just going to mention, though, that I thought it was BOTW. I thought that was for the best of the week.
Oh, no.
I thought that's what you guys said. So.
No,
that's
well,
fair.
man.
You're the bitch.
That's real embarrassing for you.
Sure, it's not best. Okay.
You got the
Where's
you
the
got
L
best,
coming?
the best cheeks. Let me beat them cheeks. Brokeback Mountain 2.
Wow.
Wait, what? I don't know what just happened.
Hashtag the tent that Carl lost.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. So
Hashtag I can't quit you. Let me beat them cheeks.
wow.
If you guys didn't give Jamar Brokeback Mountain 2, I'm gonna be upset.
What?
It's not even a real movie. You
I'll
gotta
be honest with you, I didn't know.
You're gonna beat them cheeks like it's Carol fucking Baskins.
Oh, God.
I didn't even know they made a second one.
I don't know
Brokeback
that they
Mountain
did.
2,
I
beat
was
them
just
cheeks.
ripping on that.
I guess we could have used the Around the Horde segment to talk about Tiger King, but I feel like we missed that opportunity because we're done. So, all right, here's how the main event works. All the fighters are going to be given an intro, bring up their topic. Then they're going to be given a 30-second attack round where they just basically destroy each other's ideas and just rip the shit out of them. And then they're going to follow that up with a 30-second round where they can defend themselves against the previous onslaught. Then they're going to have a final round where they're going to wrap up their argument into a pretty little bow and present it to be judged. Each round is going to be judged by myself and Wes this week. So the goal is to win, but the real motivation is to not be the loser. The loser of the show will be deemed the next bitch of the week. Wes, how's that work?
It works really well. I'm going to try to bring more energy, but we're approaching midnight here. We're running late.
Oh wow!
Oh, man, I could feel his tears
that
from
was
here.
going to be my that was going to be my excuse for being quiet for a little bit. I was like, no, I fell asleep. I'm really tired.
Jesus. Oh god. All right.
But it doesn't work because it's only like 8:30 here. So
Yeah.
So you're not going to explain it then. Okay, so the bitch of the week is the Fanboy Fight Club. It's bestowed upon since Shamar is our.
You wanted me to talk about bitch of the week?
Yeah, I set that up, but you totally missed it. So it's cool.
You fucking
So-
booing over the time.
Since Shamar is our bitch of the week, if he happens to lose this week, he'll be our second ever double bitch of the week because Mike was the first. And then if he loses again, he'll be our triple bitch of the week. And then we're going to basically kick him out and he'll not even be able to be a judge because we'll find a guest to replace him. And then we'll let him back in eventually. Basically, we're also going to constantly ridicule him until he finally completes again. But anyway, so I know we're fucking creative. I get it. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the main event, and Wes is going to introduce our contestants.
Yes, absolutely. So the bitch of the week is the Fanboy Fight Club. No, I'm kidding. All right. So round one, we're going to go into make your case, and at a process of elimination before we start a recording, I'm sure the person who's first knows they are first, and that person is Mike. Mike, what topic you bringing up this week?
All right. So today, here at Sony Pictures, we are testing time travel. To correct the mistakes of our past, we will start with the 2014 tragedy that was The Amazing Spider-Man 2. The only role that we will be recasting is Norman Osborn, because unlike in how the movie turned out, where he was there for 5 minutes, he's going to actually have a purpose this time around. He will now be played by Ian Glenn. The movie will still start off the same. We'll still have the little bit where he's, swinging through the city, stopping the robbers, leading up to graduation. However, instead of having the will they, won't they bullshit of Gwen and Peter's relationship, we're going to focus on building it and making it stronger. So that way you actually care about them rather than just thinking that Peter Parker's a little bitch who needs to get over himself. They'll go on throughout the movie with Gwen helping Peter uncover the secrets of his parents' deaths. And it will slowly reveal that it all kind of comes back to Oscorp. Peter will initially go and confront Norman and just kind of ask him about his parents' time at Oscorp, only to be lied to, until he eventually breaks in as Spider-Man to try to do his own investigation. At this time, as he's going through and trying to find his father's research, he witnesses the forced evolution of Electro. This time around, Electro is going to be mind-controlled and forced to fight Spider-Man versus just being a weirdo who is conflicted and wants friends. He'll be the main villain for a large part of the movie until we get to a point where he collects a sample of Spider-Man's blood and brings it to Norman, so that way he can try to find a cure for himself and his son. Much like it did in the first version of the film, the cure will go terribly wrong, but this time, Norman will go full-on demon-style goblin instead of weird, pimply teenager, and he will grow horns, claws, his teeth will sharpen, his skin will become leathery and green, and he'll be pretty much entranced in a rage and kill Electro, only to escape from Oscorp and start terrorizing the city. Peter will try to fight him and fail, and then he'll enlist Gwen to help him try to find a way to stop him, since they're both students of science and, are intelligent enough together to try to figure it out. However, with this grave mistake of bringing her into the battle, Goblin will capture her, fly up on the glider above onto a bridge, and force Peter to choose, stop him or save her. He'll drop her off the bridge, and once again, he'll fail to save her. But this time, you'll actually feel bad for Peter because we'll make an effort to make the relationship matter. From there, Peter will go completely crazy and beat the Green Goblin within an inch of his life, stopping himself only because he doesn't want to cross that line, because he promised with Uncle Ben and now Gwen that he will not become a murderer. The movie will end at Gwen Stacy's funeral, and then in the end credits scene, we will see Harry Osborn for the first time, looking through a window at his father hooked up to machines on life support, walking down a hallway where you'll see the genetic transformation of both Rhino, and you'll also hear the genetic transformation of Vulture screeching in the background, setting up what should have been the Sinister Six. And that is going to be our first trip in time at Sony Pictures.
Cool.
All right. Nice job, Mike. All right, who we got next?
All right. Next up, we got Jakey Poo.
Oh, okay. Well,
He acts like he didn't know he was next.
I mean, I didn't, but
Well,
Bitch, Luke is always last.
The bitch always last.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Last. We've done this
That's-
21 times.
and I think I forget every fucking time.
I
because
thought you were
don't really
saying,
care.
okay, because I called you Jakey Poo for a minute. I didn't know you forgot.
I mean, yeah, that was a little bit of that. All right. So, the movie I chose this week, I was trying to rack my brain, and I decided to do one that, a lot of people didn't even like the first one in the first place, but I love it. So I'm doing Starship Troopers 2. The original Starship Troopers was an amazing satire. It was ruthlessly funny and keenly self-aware send-up of right-wing militarism. The fact that it was and continues to be taken at face value kind of speaks to how dumb movie viewers were at the time, and not too many people have gone back and rewatched it with a critical eye. There's just so many good things in it. The screenplay, which was written by RoboCop writer Edward Newmer, had full-on old-fashioned science fiction framework from Robert Heinlein's notorious militaristic novel, with archetypes on loan from teen soaps and adult young fiction. And just everything about it was really good. Even the conclusion makes the point of deflating any residual sense of heroism and valor by having the protagonist narrowly escape death during a near suicidal mission, marching back into to battle in a glorified recruitment video, suggesting that in war, the only reward for a battle well fought is the prospect of further battle. The sequel, when it was originally made, was straight to video, extremely low budget, terrible story, terrible action. There was like a 25-minute fight in the very beginning where they're just killing bugs, and somehow they even made that boring. Missed the whole point of the original, and for some fucking stupid reason had people being controlled by the bugs by like climbing in their mouth. It was really weird. And it turned a commentary on war and right-wing militarism into a weird stuck in a bunker C-grade horror movie. And I love terrible horror movies, but this one I can't even defend. But I find it's time to revisit the satirical world in the right way, fully tongue-in-cheek, full of kitsch, self-seriousness, coming back to the coming-of-age story instead of following a random unit like the sequel did. We go back to the unrealistic teenagers near graduation and deciding to do their part and join the Federation so they can vote and be more than just, quote-unquote citizens. We're getting the original screenwriter, Ed Neumer, to come back. And the Paul Verhoeven is way too old to direct anything anymore, so I decided to have Pete Davis direct this. Oh, I'm sorry, Pete Travis. He directed Dread. I combined Dread and Travis. That's how I got Travis on that one. Davis. The main character, John Serrano, will be played by John Boyega. He plays an 18-year-old who's obsessed with the Federation since he's a small child and has the full support of his very wealthy family. His girlfriend, Monica Mendoza, will be played by Alicia Vikander, who will play a 17-year-old genius who dreams of joining military intelligence and destroying the bugs once and for all. We have some other important characters. Daniel Kaluuya will play John Boyega's brother, Jason, who is only 2 years older than is only 2 years older than John, and dies in battle, which pushes John to join the Federation before graduating high school. He runs off with fake ID and joins. Will Poulter will play the asshole in basic training, who's named A.J. Boucher, pretty much filling the same role as Jake Busey's character in the first film. Total asshole during basic training, then becomes a vital part of the crew as it goes on. Lily Reinhart will play fellow classmate Carly Ivanov, who's reunited with John after basic training. Now, you may think this all sounds very similar to the original Starship Troopers, but that's my point. Satire should be relatable. Having familiar characters will add to the association to the stinging commentary of the first one. Also returning from the original film and missing the mark in the sequel will be advertisements that we all know and love. The intercut, join now, the only good bug is a dead bug. All of those were terribly done in the second one, and they need to be done much more tongue-in-cheek in this remake of the sequel. As well as the majority of the original cast returning, who will all meet random and terrible deaths shortly after being introduced. These people who come to love. Casper Van Dien has already said he's wanted to do more with Starship Troopers, and he's actually provided the voice for some of the CG movies they've made. This sequel will honor the last scene of the movie. Like I said earlier, the only reward for a battle well fought is the prospect of further battle. The world could really use this type of satire at the moment. With the rise of right-wing nationalism, domestic terrorism, conspiracy theories, we can all use something that highlights the ridiculous nature of those ideologies. And that's why I think it's the perfect time to remake a sequel to Starship Troopers 2, the right way.
All right, Jake, taking a little risk there.
Starship Troopers is the shit. Like it's a fucking great movie.
All right. So, who we got last?
Who is it?
All right. Who is it? I don't know. There's only three people.
Bitch.
Best. You sound
All
like a Call of Duty chat.
Yeah, Jabbar, he was the bitch of the week. All right. What movie was selected for you, buddy?
Well, let me present this to you, sir. You sit back and listen. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So due to the nature of the topic, I was given a few films to choose from, all of which were pretty bad sequels. The movie I reluctantly chose was Speed 2, Cruise Control. I knew this movie wasn't great, but after doing some research, I found out actually this movie is probably the most egregious sequel to any movie series. And that's why I'm here to make some major changes. Obviously, it's not going to make this movie perfect, but I'm going to try. So first is the cast. The biggest fucking issue with this movie is in casting. In Cruise Control, Keanu did not reprise his role as Jack. And let's just say that set this project on a slow, agonizing crash. Of course, much like the cruise ship in the film. That was my joke. All right. So seeing how he's been doing a bunch of sequels now with some of his early movies like The Matrix and, Ted and, whatnot, I think it's a good time. I think he's interested in some of the films he did early on, and maybe he'd be back into this. Also, to sweeten the deal for them and also make this movie nonstop action, I'm thinking about bringing Chad Stahelski. You may know him as the director from the John Wick movies. It's definitely going to bring a little bit of pace that I want into this film. Of course, Sandra Bullock is coming back. She's going to reprise her role as Annie Porter. Her and him on the screen, it's going to be pretty good. Anyways, we're also going to have some cameos from Jeff Daniels, Joe Morton, Richard Branson, Elon Musk, and more. And you're probably wondering, what am I doing with this cast? So let's just pretend that the second movie didn't exist. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit of things about the plot. So Jack and Andy continue their relationship that from the romance that started in the first movie. And although it's a little bit different now because it's been about 20 years, we're going to pick up in their lives at a little bit different spot. Now divorced, so we don't get to see all the inner workings of the relationship. We just know that there were some bad things that happened. But they did get a child after it, because in this film, they're going to be making a trip from Nampa to LA, or sorry, said that backwards, from LA to Nampa for their daughter's wedding. How would they be getting there, you ask? Well, Jack was given 2 tickets for the inaugural trip of the Virgin Hyperloop. Yes, right. Underground tunnel moving really fast, or underground tube moving really fast. Said that backwards. As if it wasn't enough tension getting ready for a wedding on the day of, an unknown investor has been working to sabotage the first ride. And you guessed it, it's a bomb. But this bomb isn't based off speed. It's based off a location. So it's set to detonate once they arrive in Napa. So Jack has to work together with his ex-wife and find a way to stop this unimaginably fast mode of transportation. A little bit of twist will come later. The investor is no other than, well, you guessed it, Howard Payne's son, who was killed and decapitated in the original Speed. So now we're raising the stakes and bringing more action pretty much in every single way to this sequel. And it's sure to be accepted just like the first was. Now, I'll let you in a little bit of secret here. After, there's going to be an end credit scene. And it's going to be Jack answering a phone call from SpaceX. And if you're not excited, I can't help you. But on the other line, it's going to be a voice of Elon Musk asking Jack if he'd like to take a first flight to moon. First pilot flight to moon. Sorry, read that right. But anyways, screen goes back, opening up the possibility for Speed 3. We're going to Mars, or going to the moon. Sorry. So the last thing that I want to change on here, I won't keep you too much longer, but this one is just a no-brainer, just has to be done, right? So the title was just so stupid and cheesy. Cruise Control, really? So I'm thinking outside it. I thought pretty hard, and I'm like, what could I do to change this title and make it perfect? Well, the obvious answer is Speed 2. That's it.
All right. Simple and to the point. I like it. All right, what do we got next?
I believe you judge is what comes next.
Did you have a stroke? Are you okay with it?
No, I'm good.
Well, that means one of ours was forgettable enough that he didn't even remember it happening. So that's a good sign.
I guess we'll know whoever comes in last for Jason. Who screwed the pooch.
No. I was just sorry. I guess it was a poor choice of words. I just meant I was actually going to try to see what Wes thought about that round.
All right. You guys, honestly, you guys all did great. I do have it.
Agree.
I do have it judged, so I have it set as Jamar, Jake, Mike.
Yeah, I actually have a little bit different. I actually, oh no, actually, wait, that was you. So you had, no, I had it the exact same. I'm sorry.
Wow, I feel completely robbed, but okay.
Yeah,
Mike, you always the first round. That's just how it goes.
It wasn't that yours was bad, Mike. I thought all of you did well, and there's a little bit better. It's nothing crazy. So, all right, what's next?
All right, next we're gonna go into the attack round, the fuck you round. Let's see who we have up first for the attack round.
All right, I got a stopwatch ready, so let me know when you're ready.
Okay, Jake, you're up first. Are you ready to show everyone else's ideas?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go when you start talking.
Remaking Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man 2 would prevent the best Spider-Man from being a thing. Tom Holland is the best one. We don't need to reset that universe. We already have 3 Spider-Man 2s. We don't need 4 of them. And that's another reason why you shouldn't do this one. Speed 2, on the other hand, is just John Wick on a boat, which sounds fun, but misses the point of Speed movies. A Hyperloop would get from LA to Napa in about 30 minutes. So you want to have an entire set piece, the entire plot of the movie take place in 30 minutes. That doesn't seem right and doesn't seem like the tension you want in a speed movie.
All right. Jake is out of time. Who we got next?
Next up, we have Jamar.
All right, Jamar, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, I'll go when you start talking.
All right. Let's start with Mike. Andrew fucking Garfield was a great Peter Parker, and I'll take that to my grave. But that's besides the point. You really only succeeded in rehashing Spider-Man for PlayStation 4, which again, thanks for bringing some unique ability to this thing here. And then Jake, right out the gate, you insulted the viewers, which is right on brand for you. And I really don't have a ton of shit on you, but Boyega is almost fucking 30, and you want him to play an 18-year-old? There's more black actors out there if that's what you're looking for. That's all I have.
Wow. All right.
Well, this just got socially awkward. I'm going to disconnect. I'll see you guys later.
In a good way. It wasn't like, I didn't say MAGA or anything like that.
All right.
Mike, you ready to bring the fire?
Holy shit.
Oh, I am ready.
I know it's in you. I know that now you're fucking like a dragon on the inside. All right, Jason, we'll count you down.
All right. Clock starts when you start talking.
All right, let's start with Jake. I mean, the first 10 minutes of your presentation was just you fucking talking about the first 2 movies and not actually talking about anything of relevance to the topic. So I don't even know what to fucking do because I zoned out until you said Boucher, and then I was like, oh, he's doing Waterboy 2, and got super excited. Yours just sounds like you're rebooting the entire franchise, not so much actually doing a redo of the sequel. Jamar, yours is John Wick, but like what, on a bus or a boat? Like that sounds cool, but I don't take anything you say, with truth anymore because we learned at the beginning of the show you're a liar and you're a camper, not Tucker.
All right, stop. Oh, man. Damn. All right. Whew. Man, that was tough. All right. So for me this time, I'm Jamar, Jake.
You cut out. I didn't hear what you said.
What'd you have?
Oh, I said I want Jamar, Mike, Jake for that one.
All right. I have it Jake, Mike, Jamar. You there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. I heard you. Sorry, I was just writing it down. All right. Cool. All right, we're moving on to round 3. What's round 3 all about?
All right, round 3 is you're going to defend yourself. You're not going to want these guys to come on you. So let's see what we got going on here. We got Jamar is the first up for the Don't Come For Me round. Jamar, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, perfect. Well, I tell you what.
No,
Jason,
I'm back. Sorry.
I didn't know you were gone.
Yeah.
All right. Woo!
No one said anything about it.
We were panicking, man.
I was cutting out for a second, so I thought you were waiting for me to start the clock. Sorry
We're
about
just happy you're back.
No, you actually got back at a perfect time, and we were segueing into it flawlessly.
that.
And then you fucked that up.
Right, cool,
Yeah,
all
you
right.
fucked it up.
All
All
right.
right, yeah, I'm ready.
So Jamar's first. I got the clock ready, so I'll start when you start.
All right, so you guys both made a case against John Wick as if John Wick on anything wouldn't be amazing. This is probably one of the best action movie series that we've had in like the past 10 years. So please just get over that. And to clarify, Jake, I hate for you to spill out misinformation because you're normally so right on animals, but I actually did the research and I estimated the time and it's about 1 hour and 10 minutes, which spaced enough could make a whole feature movie. If you don't tuck, you're a fucking weirdo. I'm sorry, Mike. That's all I have.
Stop.
All right, let's take a pause for a second.
I have a problem with math, with Jamar's math.
Okay,
Oh,
well, your attack round's over. But okay, let's for a moment. What's the deal with the tucking?
You don't tuck when you got a boner. You tuck. You don't just fucking pitch
Yeah,
it.
it's Tucker versus Camper. Come on.
Yeah, who?
That was the whole
Okay.
joke because at the beginning of the show we talked about Back Mountain 2 with you and him camping in the back of your fucking house. So
I
that was my
obviously-
joke, would say he's been lying because he's a camper, not a tucker. That
But
was the
what
joke.
I will
I
admit,
would have lost in my
the
attack round.
context of what Jamar said seemed more like Buffalo Bill tucking.
I lost. I must have lost it somewhere because everyone started talking about tucking their dicks in their waistbands, and I couldn't figure out where the connection was.
This
And now it makes
conversation,
sense.
the conversation
Started on a
originally
stream.
started on Call of Duty on a stream, so
Yes.
that's where this originally started at. Because
I-
Mike did not know the concept of tucking.
That's
So
got to be super
who's had
unhealthy
a-
for your dick.
yeah.
Don't tuck your dick into your waistband. That sounds.
I
Are you
also want to say
crazy?
I officially feel robbed last round. Now that I know that Wes just didn't get my joke at all.
So hold on, Wes.
That
you're telling
explains
me-
why I didn't get fucking anywhere near the points I should
You're
have.
telling me when you were in school and you got called to go up to write something on the board, if you had a boner, you didn't tuck it, you just walked up there at full mast.
Hold on a minute.
Just a full
Hold
camp,
on a minute.
a full
Why the
campground in your
fuck
pants.
Do you just what? What? Do you, okay, let's go on. We're gonna move on. Okay, next person. Mike, you're next on the "Don't Come For Me" round. You ready?
Oh man, sure, why not? At this point, I'm already losing. What could go wrong?
Get your dick untucked. Let's do this.
You know we're talking about tucking it up and not down, right?
Yeah, you're tucking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how are you gonna tuck it down? Are you doing a
I
fruit
don't-
basket?
Buffalo
I
Bill
don't
style.
know.
Goodbye,
I
What's
don't
your
know.
asshole?
God, I have no clue. Apparently, this is all new to me.
Here, let me
I thought
let me
it was
write
just
on the board.
thing you
Here's
do.
a
I
fruit
thought that was
basket for you.
A
Like,
rite of passage is using the waistband.
We're not doing the goat. We're trying to. All right,
Go ahead.
Mike, you're up.
Yeah.
You ready?
All right. Shit. Give me
I
a
got the
second.
clock ready. You start. I start.
I need a drink. Give me a second.
tucking it up into the waistband, man.
That's how you hide it, man. When you get one at a time that you're not supposed
It
to.
reverses the blood flow. It's science.
No, you just
It's
you
not
just-
gravity. Doesn't reverse the blood flow.
You just-
over your penis.
Yeah, you just do the weird like walk. You know what I mean? No one's gonna know. You look
Tuck
like
it
a
down
bitch.
low.
you
pant legs.
do the
But they
weird
do
walk
know,
with,
that's the whole
fully
point.
bitched in
Hey, I'm
in
gonna
front of
make
your
a-
pants.
Hey,
That's-
Jay,
no.
it's fine. I mean, we realize that we're card carrying members of the Big Johnson program.
Yeah, I was just about to say we don't all have a big old dick like you do. Like it's
I
so
know.
a boner, you can't tell.
So no.
By that
So
logic, though,
my
it would just
wife,
lift his shirt up.
my wife just made the brilliant point of if you can carry a towel on it, it needs to be tucked in a waistband. So obviously, if they can't carry a towel on it, so it doesn't need to be tucked up. So
You know,
Oh,
I'm gonna try
Jesus.
this waistband tucking. I'm gonna try
It's
it.
gonna change
I can
your
carry
life.
I can carry a hand towel on it. So
Not that I really care. 'Cause I'm around
Hand
my
towel.
wife.
comforter. I'm
It's-
sorry.
not a wash rag, a hand towel.
You don't have like a king size comforter on that
A
thing?
big thick hand towel.
I'm gonna try it. Not that it matters.
What kind of fucking hand towels do you own that they're a big, thick one? Like,
I got some thick hand towels.
I bet they're all crunchy too.
that's why they're so thick.
Holy
Can we
shit!
Go to the next.
Do you guys see the
All right,
train?
we
the train
need
over
to
there?
keep going.
It is off the rails.
yeah, we need to keep going. Get back to the
This
task.
show
on
just
hand.
turned into a huge dumpster fire. Okay, I think we left off with the "Don't Come on Me" round, and it's Mike.
Yep.
Come in your waistband.
Ooh,
Ready, Mike?
Shit. All right. So Jake, you said there's gonna be 4 sequels at that point to Spider-Man, but if you will listen to me, mine was talking about going back in time and fixing the problem, not just redoing it in current day, because that wouldn't work with the age gap of how everyone's gone over the past 10 years. So there actually will be 3 sequels, not 4. Plus, the only true, really good Spider-Man was Spider-Man 2 with Dr. Octopus, so fuck off. Jamar, you say mine's too much like Spider-Man PS4. First off, that's like saying it's about just too much like the comics. You can't just compare it to another Spider-Man and say it's too much like that
Stop.
story-wise.
Out of time.
I feel like you weren't able to get everything you wanted out there.
Oh, I wasn't.
either.
But I was also still stunned from just talking about penises for 10 minutes.
You can't have a conversation about a dick. You're not an adult. I'm just saying.
All right. So who's next?
Oh, you really are off the rails here. You guys are judging now at this point.
Process? No.
No,
Wait.
Jake still hasn't
Oh,
gone.
I thought Jake
Yeah, I
was-
haven't gone.
Oh yeah, maybe I'm.
Yeah.
Off.
Wow.
Did you have a stroke?
Guys,
Jamar fumbled through his intro and can't remember where he's at.
I thought I was second.
I tell you what, I got this. Okay.
You were
That's fine.
second. No,
Next up is
you were
Jake.
first.
Jake,
Okay.
See?
Jake, clock's ready when you're ready.
Jamar, you brought up the age. The age is the point. Casper Van Dien and Denise Richards both played teenagers in the original. That's part of what makes it ridiculous and awesome. Mike, the point is that it's satirical even of itself. So rehashing the original is pretty much the point and not a problem. So you guys both missed the point of my intro, and you're both just not smart enough to get it.
Okay,
I feel
that's
personally attacked.
Oof.
Yeah,
Pretty sure
that
he just like slowly called us stupid.
I implied racism and he called me dumb. I don't understand.
God damn it! I like him like at one point.
Oh my god. Okay, Wes, you're up for this one.
Yeah, Jamar, Mike, Jake.
Okay. All right.
You asked for
Man.
energy.
That's tough. I'll be honest. I kind of forget some of Jamar's just because it felt like it was so long ago now.
You don't
Appreciate
take
it.
notes?
Jamar's had bad math in it, so
Incorrect.
No,
Blown off the
like,
website.
but then it was also tough because
750
Mike
miles
didn't
an
get-
hour.
I mean,
for
Jamar had
400
bad
miles.
math,
That's
and
the
Jake did nothing but call us stupid.
speed.
So is that really an argument? Just saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Mike, Jamar, Jake. All right, last
Theoretical.
round. Time to tie it up.
I mean, I shouldn't lose points on my defense round because they don't understand the original movie.
You didn't understand my fucking.
You lost
thing
you
either.
lost points on the defense round because you only talked for 15 seconds and then you just didn't have anything else to say after that. For me,
Because they didn't even attack my movie. That's why I won the attack round, because they didn't do shit to my movie.
All right.
What is happening to the show? We used to be so professional.
All right.
When did that happen? Was I off that week?
Oh my gosh.
Oh goodness.
Well, we're going to go into our last round
Yeah,
here.
let's do it.
And taking a look at the scores, it's going to be important that you give it to your all here. So the last round is where you're going to give us your closing arguments. And first up, we have Mike.
All right, so let's start with just the basics of things here. Given just how movies evolved over the years, out of the three you have in front of you, which one of these movies really had people upset and wishing they would have went a different direction, and also wanting more because it had potential to keep going with better movies down the line? I'll tell you one thing, it's not Speed, and it's certainly not Starship Troopers. And, I mean, Amazing Spider-Man 2 had so much potential. Amazing Spider-Man 1, kind of rocky, but people still really liked it and liked the fact that it was a change of pace from the Raimi trilogy. But they kind of fumbled over themselves. They couldn't figure out what they were doing, and parts of it were good and parts of it were really bad. So if we go back in time and we were to fix that, yeah, we might lose Tom Holland. But if we lose Tom Holland but gain a truly incredible Spider-Man franchise, is that not a good, trade-off? Because there's still potential that we would eventually have him come in the MCU, and then we'd get Andrew Garfield, who, yeah, Tom Holland is incredible, but people still liked him as Spider-Man. They still liked him as Peter Parker. He was a little too pretty to be either of those things, but so is Tom Holland, so it doesn't really matter. Ultimately, we would have gotten Sinister Six. We would have gotten probably a much better version of Venom and all of that would have eventually just tied in to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, giving them access to all of those villains instead of the shit show we have today where they're like two divorced parents fighting over who gets custody and which one gets to take what toys. So not only would my movie be the better option and actually have interest from people and not just a crowd of like 10 people who are like, oh yeah, I remember that movie. But it also would fix so much drama that we've had within the past couple of years with Marvel. So that's why you should choose Amazing Spider-Man 2.
All right, cool. Who's next?
All right, and we follow the same as the opening. So next would be Jake.
Cool.
Hang on just a second.
He loses a point, right? He wasn't ready.
No, I needed the TV turned down.
It's not our fault. Should be watching TV.
Oh, yeah, well, All
All
right.
right.
So Starship Troopers, the original, was fantastic. Even for all of the faults it did have. But redoing the sequel now, I apologize, would bring a whole nother generation in on the joke and point out the flaws of the ideologies that are taking root again right now. Also, Mike mentioned that even his movie had some great moments. He was doing, Amazing Spider-Man 2. It did have some good moments. The Starship Troopers sequel, the original one, had nothing redeemable about it. It didn't have anything good. Why would we risk losing what might have been okay and instead not just do a remake of something that was totally trash in the first place? That's what you have when you can redo the Starship Troopers 2 movie. You're not just fixing small mistakes or taking it in a different direction. You're rebooting a franchise that can keep going on and keep being a satirical masterpiece. You're not just saying, oh, it'll fix drama, it'll do this or that. It's literally injecting something new into the zeitgeist that we don't have around at the moment. That's why Starship Troopers 2 is the best choice for this. Is you're taking a movie that was absolute trash and you're redoing it with amazing actors, some of the best up-and-coming actors, with an amazing director who knows how to do that kind of over-the-top action. And then you're bringing back the original screenwriter who obviously understood what the point of the novel even was, and the first movie. So that's why Starship Troopers is the one that should get remade. Starship Troopers 2.
Okay. All right. So, last but not least,
Who?
you.
I'm just joking.
bitch.
Who just burped in the microphone? What the fuck?
Correct professionalism. All right.
Oh my god.
Now, if Bad Boys for Life, Ghostbusters Afterlife, the recent Star Wars saga, and the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, for example, are just a few films that prove that audiences are yearning for films based on their beloved franchises. So long as they're done with care and not just a simple cash grab. My remake of Speed 2 isn't some rehashed thought of the original film. The stakes are raised and the action is more intense. Keanu and Sandra on the screen together going through an underground tube, traveling at an incredible fast speed will help Speed 2 deliver magic from the first movie. By making sure your heart is racing and from beginning all the way to the end of the cheering, inducing excitement. At the same time, picking up with these characters at a much different point in their lives makes the story familiar but yet unique to the sequel. The time is now to course correct and steer this franchise in the right direction. Plus, John Wick on anything is pretty cool. That's all I have to say.
All right. That'll do it for this battle that was crazy and off the wall and completely dumpster fire. But anyway. All right, Wes, how'd you think that final round went?
Yeah, go ahead and give me yours. I'm still working on mine.
You're still working on yours. Okay. Man, I gotta go. I gotta go Jamar, Jake, Mike.
All right. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty. I mean, it's a tough.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not a judge very often, so I'm really like, ugh. All right, I have it as Jake, Jamar, Mike.
Okay. All right.
Hashtag robbed.
Have you been adding up the scores?
Yeah, I have.
All right. Do you want to go ahead and announce the winner and the bitch of the week?
Yep. I think I just fucked up your score though. What was yours again?
Mine was Jamar.
His was wrong is all you need to know.
It was Jamar, then me, then Mike.
Okay. Yeah, I accidentally put mine on top of yours. Ooh.
Ooh.
Did you tuck
Brokeback
it?
Mountain 3.
We're going broke back again. All right.
All right,
Oh,
perfect.
gosh.
Well, we do have someone that is in the lead, who is no longer the bitch of the week. Jamar, you got 12 points, so congratulations.
Nice work, Shamar.
Do I get a speech?
No,
Okay,
you don't.
that's fine.
Okay.
Can you get
second-
your math right?
The website. That's all I'm saying.
Is the math wrong?
The
I don't know.
website.
Jake kept saying the math was wrong, so I assumed.
I'm just going based on like the website I looked at. The Hyperloop is supposed to go at 750 miles an hour at top speed. Napa to LA is 404 miles. That comes out to roughly a little over half an hour.
But there's
That's a real
bomb.
short movie.
That's what I said. That was my point. It was a
Theoretical
short movie.
speed. Theoretical speed.
Well, you
All
got to include the build up.
Right, but it's a movie, so you don't have to go based on like actually anything.
What do you
so,
think about speed? It all wasn't on the bus. There's still the subway seat. You know. All right.
Anyway, who came in second place, Wes?
All right.
God damn
Second
it.
place is actually second and third were actually very close. Second place is Jake with seven points. So congratulations, Jake. And then third, we have a brand new bitch of the week, and that's Mike with 5 points. Okay, you can have a speech.
I'm so glad I got beat by a guy who changed his topic 2 minutes before and fumbled through his entire
Yeah,
presentation.
because I picked a movie that was universally like hated as a sequel. You picked one that was
My movie
Like-
killed the franchise. They had 6 fucking movies planned.
so.
Yours, they didn't have anything planned. It was just garbage because it was supposed to be garbage.
No, it's God, have you seen Sergeant Troopers 2? It's awful.
I'm so glad you had Wes, because like that's why I double checked who the judges were, and then I was
Yeah,
like,
I feel like that's
could
the only
probably
reason
get
why
away-
you
I
fucking
could probably get away with
got
Starship.
as far as you did is because Wes was one of the judges and he fucking likes that movie.
Oh God, the second one's like so bad. Like when you said
third one's
that the
terrible.
second one
Yeah.
has nothing good about it, not one redeeming factor. I felt that.
Oh, God.
All right, go ahead, Jason. Close us out.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening to this week's Fanboy Fight Club podcast. Hopefully, you made it all the way through the episode. The first rule of the Fanboy Fight Club podcast is that you must talk about the Fanboy Fight Club podcast. Maybe leave the part where we argued about camping and tucking out when you talk about it, but the rest of it completely talk about. We are Media Junkies flagship podcast, but we're this is the only show with all 5 of us, yet we do offer so much more. You can catch Michael and I on the Gimmick Minute Wrestling podcast. You can catch Jamar and Wes on Rogue Agents. You can also catch Jamar on his show, Why Are You a Gamer? Jake possibly has something new coming out. Mike makes some t-shirts. You want to talk about that?
No, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. All right, cool. And
He's even given up possible sales to the 3 people that listen to the show.
It's gonna be his new shirt. Go
Don't
fuck.
sleep on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/mediajunkie. You can also interact with Jake on the Fanboy Fight Club Facebook page or tweet at him at FBFC Podcast. And don't forget to follow Media Junkie on Instagram and Twitter at Media Junkie Vids. So I'll leave you with a couple of questions. I had some, but I think Wes put some better ones in there. Will Jamar tuck that dick? Will Wes judge again? Will Mike pick a good movie to try to remake it? And will Jake travel 760 miles per hour straight to hell? Find out all the answers to these questions and more on the next episode of the Fanboy Fight Club podcast. Goodbye.
750.
600 is